everybody. Vinny Sinisi here, out to lunch with my good friend Scooter Brown, who became a good friend, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Through Steve Saeed down
Mm-hmm.
at Do-Si Do, and really Ken Kirchhoffer, whom we did a podcast with, and ended up being friends. You did a deal for us for Baseball for Babies, and quite an amazing story. Everybody we had on here has just been phenomenal. I know we should have done this a long time ago. Steve wanted me to do it years ago. And so Scooter has a great past and a great future, and started out, growing up where? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Nebraska. I don't tell many people that.
Cornhusker.
I was, I spent just a couple of years there as a kid, but I grew up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Just west of Denver and Golden. Loved it. I loved Colorado. I love the West.
Which is where your camp is, right?
My base camp 40.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Very cool.
Yeah, so I grew up out there, up in the mountains, and did all the mountain stuff. Really into like the Western community. I played pretty much all the sports. I was really big into baseball, and then really got into rodeo. I rode bulls and bareback horses for that in the high school rodeo. And
well, you're a big dude. What are you, like 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3" on the dot without the boots on.
I wore boots today just for you, because we usually talk about our socks. I usually have socks on and we compare socks, but I knew you wouldn't be wearing anything but boots today.
No, it's boots or flops.
Yeah. Did you? Well, that's for your Cancun visits.
Yeah.
So you went to Colorado. You grew up in Colorado, and then when you graduated from high school, you decided to enlist, or?
Yeah. So I knew from a really early age, probably like 12, that I was going to go the military route. Like I just had it in me. There was something about it that, I guess I watched a lot of good Rambo movies and all that good stuff. And I actually went to go join the Army, and I went to the recruiter.
Great story.
And it was like a life-changing moment for me. I go to the recruiter. I had an appointment set up, and I walk in the door, and the recruiter kind of was walking out at the same time. And when he walked out, I noticed that he had his pant leg was like hiked up on a sock. He had a little bit of a slouch and a little bit of one of those like little pooch guts that some dudes have.
Beer gut.
Yeah. And he was smoking a cigarette. And he looked at me and he's like, "Oh man, can I help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to have a meeting with you." And he's like, "Oh, I totally forgot." And he's like, I got something I gotta take care of, but I'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes. And he said to have a seat outside on the curb. Like not in the office, whatever. He's like, "Have a seat on the curb." Cool, yeah, I'm 17. Like,
this is the way you do it. Right?
This is what I'm supposed to do. And about 5 minutes goes by, and the door opens up behind me, and I look over my shoulder, and this Marine comes walking out, and this dude is like just jacked, perfect uniform creases, nice stacked ribbons over here, and Staff Sergeant Gonzalez. And he looked at me, he goes, "What are you doing sitting on my curb?" In the Marine Corps, everything belongs to whoever's talking at the moment. And I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm waiting to see the Army guy." And he looked right at me. He goes, "You want to look like that shitbag? You want to look like this?" And I was like, "I want to look like that." And he goes, "Step into my office." And
Awesome.
I pretty much was wrapped up for the Marine Corps before that dude got back.
God has a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, life-changing. If that Army guy hadn't gone to lunch or make a phone call or go smoke a cigarette, you'd have never met the Gonzalez.
Yeah, and who knows where I would have ended up? Like, I mean, just deployment-wise, unit-wise.
Yeah.
So I went to boot camp in San Diego.
Hollywood Marine, huh?
Hollywood, absolutely proud of it. And then I was stationed at Pendleton. So I was in 03. I ended up in 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance as a scout.
Nice.
And I loved that job.
Really?
Like we were a jack of all trades. And I did a deployment in 2001, a Westpac, and then I did a Westpac that was the invasion of Iraq in 2003. And obviously I'm here and with all my digits. So and there's no telling. I might have been in the Army. Maybe I didn't deploy, but or maybe I deployed and I didn't make it home. I don't know. But yeah, the path has been amazing. In the Marine Corps, I had every intention on doing 20 years and retiring.
Really?
I had no other plan. Wanted to maybe like retire after 20 plus years and then go work for the National Park Service and get into like backcountry
In
rescue
Colorado.
and Colorado, Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to play guitar, and I got back from Iraq, and I had a reenlistment package drawn up to go be a mountain survival instructor in Bridgeport, California. And I pulled off of it last minute and just was like, I'm going to get out and pursue music. And so then I moved to Texas.
So, so you're in the Marines though, and you're a scout. I mean, you're like, all right, Scoot, go up there and see what's going on up there, right?
Yeah, the scouts we were, like I said, a jack of all trades. So I was our assistant chief scout for the company when like going to Iraq. I was a section leader, a squad leader. But we would do everything from reconnaissance patrols to combat patrols. We had to go do multiple demolitions courses, like sapper training. I personally, I went to a condensed sniper school where I was a 50 cal Barrett operator. And so we did a little bit of everything. We would protect and guard vehicles while we were on the move.
You were in the middle of it.
Yeah, we kind of just, like I said, a jack
like
of all trades.
Like you said, I'm back home.
Yeah.
And imagine some of the guys you were over there with made it back home, but only in a box or something.
I actually didn't lose any of my guys.
Golly.
Yeah, no, we were extremely blessed and lucky. In fact, I was talking to a commanding general at a base this past weekend who was in another LAR unit in second LAR, and he's like, we basically copied and pasted your guys' protocol.
Really?
He goes, and I attribute of taking your playbook of why I brought home all my Marines when I did a deployment in Afghanistan.
How many guys? When you say you guys, all of my guys.
My guys, but like my entire company, we didn't lose one person in the invasion.
And how many in a company?
100.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
People want to hang out with you.
It was wild because we got in a lot of gunfights. I mean, we got ambushed in one town where, we were taking contact 10 feet, 15 feet from it was like we got ambushed in this town, and our lead vehicle, 3 guys came out and he took them out with a machine gun, and it just kind of like all hell broke loose. It was like RPGs coming in, and it was like we were just trying to get out of the town, and we were just constantly like just running and gunning and shooting, and we were in vehicles, and it was getting to the point where like my platoon sergeant looked back and he's like, man, we need to pop smoke. There was so much stuff coming at me that was like basically like shooting my 203 grenade launcher with smoke in it at dudes to like knock 2 birds out with one stone. Yeah. So it's like, you hit a dude in the chest, whether they die, they're probably dead, probably caved it in pretty good. But then you also got smoke to help cover and conceal your movement. Yeah. So, but it was like super hairy. So, and then in that one, our lead vehicle actually then drove in the middle of town, and a lot of the sewage kind of runs down into like what we'd call like a shit pit, like in the middle of town. And it's weird because like it's liquid, but like this grass grows over it. And our lead vehicle, while we were trying to get away, drove straight into it. So now we got a vehicle stuck in a bunch of human shit.
Yeah.
And we got to stop, pull it out. It was wild.
Yeah, literally in the creek without the paddle.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got back and we got out, and I'm like, we're doing all of our checks and everything, and not one person was hit. Not one person. We didn't like. Out of that chaos, I was like, how did that happen?
Everybody's high-fiving. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got done my anxiety. I was like, it was because that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about combat is
they're real bullets.
Well, it's not that. It's just the like you get that, but it's the emotional roller coaster of like this super high adrenaline rush
Right.
to and like anxiety sometimes, like adrenaline rush, and then you dump, and then anxiety, and then you dump, and it's just like it's mentally exhausting because listen, I'm like there's some people that have a different experience and would disagree with me, but I enjoyed war. I liked it. Like I hated it at the same time, but I liked it. Like it was so there's never been another time in my life where I felt so alive
Satisfying.
because it's just at any moment you could die. Like any moment you take a bullet to the face, any moment you get hit.
Yeah.
Like and so like you were so heightened and alerted in these situations that like you were living on everything that you had. And I honestly felt like I was riding with Genghis Khan across the desert, sacking cities like it was part of my archaic DNA, man. I loved it. Like when I was going across the desert and I had my M4 203 and I had my bandana on and our vehicles were running 70 miles an hour. Like, and then you're just like looking out and you're like, oh,
Rambo.
dude, I love this shit, man. Like, I loved it.
People don't understand. You have to have that attitude in order to really survive. Hopefully, because
I think it helps.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's the whole reason for PTSD. You got the high, you got the low, you got the high, you got the low, and then when you're done, and you come back to the States, you know that epinephrine and that adrenaline rush, you know, you don't get that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to other veterans, obviously, and the same thing. And that's the part that they struggle with. And I know that you have really helped with Base Camp 40 and Lone Survivor and some other things
Mm-hmm.
that you work with. How do you have time to play a guitar? Yeah, we killed all those guys.
No, I didn't have one over there.
When you came back.
Yeah, so I started learning right before my first deployment, like probably 2000.
Oh.
I had my guitar on the ship, which is how we got over there. We didn't fly.
Right.
But like in country, there was no room for that.
Right.
So
you're not like in the movies where you're all sitting around
the
campfire and
that's the other thing. Like when I was there, we had nothing. I slept under the stars for months. I never once slept in a bed. I rarely slept with a roof over my head. Like I slept out in the desert or in a blown up building on the ground, usually with my boots on and my gun over my chest, because you just at any moment there was no camp set up. We didn't have Wendy's and ice cream bars and freaking movie theaters and internet. I got like 2 letters the whole time I was there because mail was constantly trying to keep up with us while we were moving.
Yeah.
In fact, the first couple of weeks that we were there, the supply couldn't even keep up. We were limited to 1 MRE and 1 liter of water per Marine a day while we're out in the desert freaking running all these missions. Like we literally were like riding with Genghis Khan. Like there, but I like that. Like I'm a mission accomplishment guy over troop welfare on an aspect, because I think that when I was doing it like that, I was in war 24/7. I was in the mission 24/7. I didn't get to come back and get on a computer and check out what all my friends are doing on Facebook and Instagram, making me miss my life, making me miss my girlfriend that I got back, or finding out from somebody sending me a message that my girlfriend has been messing around with somebody else or has been cheating on me while I'm in the middle of combat.
Did you have a girlfriend at that point?
Hell no.
What were you like, 19?
No, in Iraq I was 22.
Yeah.
But no, like I mean, like.
And how long? What was you were there a year or 10 months?
No. So my deployment was way different during the invasion. Our total deployment to get there and get back was 6 months. I was in Iraq for just a little over 3 months.
So you're 100%, like you said, 24/7.
Yeah.
Get through this 3 months and we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my first like real shower was like two months in without doing baby wipes and like doing that. We took a ammo can and tacked it up to a palm tree. We found a hose in a water tank that had been on a building that was got hit. We ran it to the palm tree, punched holes in the ammo can, and ran that thing up there. So you strip down naked. Two dudes would like stand security, like take a knee, and he was just like, "Oh, there's the water falling on my head. This is amazing," you know. But I also think that kind of like, one, I will say this: in the invasion, we weren't having to deal with IEDs. They hadn't figured that completely out yet, because we caught them off guard in a way. Like the first couple of days, we were still dealing with uniformed Iraqi soldiers and tank platoons. When you think about Iraq, everybody thinks about like, you know, the civilian attire that they wore and roadside bombs and just kind of like this like guerrilla
sneaking up on you.
Yeah, but wasn't. I mean, we were capturing hundreds and hundreds of Iraqi soldiers the first day, 2-3 days. You know, shooting at tank platoons and calling in fire, and like, I mean, it was like a actual like army on army kind of war, like traditional.
Sure. Yeah, because my cousin in Vietnam, I asked him about that, and he said we didn't know who the enemy was because the Viet Cong were just people. And one of his buddies was in the latrine, and a kid rode by on a bike, tossed a grenade in there, and you just didn't know who was who.
Yeah, and that's what Iraq turned into.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because at first, how we could tell was a lot of the guys, they took their uniform, like we were fighting uniforms in the middle of the desert. Dudes were just like with a half thing of yak milks, you know, a cup of yak milk, like they'd stripped them off and they were gone, you know, eating breakfast or something. And but then how we were able to tell was they would have I don't ever remember what it's called. It's the man dress thing.
Man dress.
The man dress. But they were still wearing their combat boots.
Oh.
So like
there's a giveaway.
Right. So like you'd see those guys and you'd be like, okay, these guys probably need to go away.
See you later.
Yeah. So my experience was very different than probably a lot of other people's.
Yeah. The survival part. That's the best part. I'm glad that you did that. And then you're done after 6 months, come back to the States?
Yeah. So I had, my intention was to do 20 years and retire. When I learned how to play the guitar in the Marine Corps, I just really fell in love with it. Yeah. And I struggled with what I wanted to do. And I had my reenlistment package set up to go to Bridgeport, California to be a mountain survival instructor. And I just decided at the last minute to pull it and get out. And so when I got back from Iraq, I basically just started checking out of the Marine Corps and moved to Texas.
It worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we talked about, you know, Steve used to brag about, Scooter played at Do-Si-Do. I gave him his start. And now you're telling me that we used to play at Wunchie Brothers. We used to own Wunchie Brothers. And after we sold it, is I think when you started playing, Cody Johnson.
Yeah, me and Cody Johnson would do, it was Friday and Saturday night gig.
Yeah.
And we just sit up there and song swap, the two of us. When I first started going, it's funny, Cody, this is back in the MySpace days. He sent me a message on MySpace. He thought I was a big deal or something, and I listened to his stuff, and I was like, "Dude, this guy's good." And, so we hung out for a long time. My wife was booking and managing both of us at the time, and Cody and I both wrote his first kind of big hit, Texas Kind of Way.
Yep.
But yeah, we did a lot of 4-hour acoustic bar gigs, and it's funny, you know, back in the day,
pay your dues,
$75 and a $50 bar tab, and you're like, I get paid for this, you know.
Yeah.
But
because my wife, before we sold it, she booked all those with Gary P. Nunn and Jerry Jeff Walker and all Cosmic Cowboys is what we called them.
Yeah.
And so who did I tell you earlier? Clint Black.
Yep.
And next year he's in the Astrodome for the rodeo. I'm like, didn't we just have that guy for $50, right?
That's how it works.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's funny, like the whole overnight success thing. Cody's a great example because of what he's doing now. Like Cody's just kicking
Killing.
ass and taking names,
Yeah,
man. You
yeah.
know, but it took him a long, long time to get there. I mean, even in 2016, 2017, when he really started kind of like becoming a little bit more known in Nashville. I had moved to Nashville, I think around 15 or 16, and he was really making some waves out there. But like even in 2017, he'd already been at it for, I mean,
15.
Yeah, at least 12 or 13
Yeah.
years. So and then one day, great example, we were doing an event out here, and I was a big fan of the Steel Drivers. Chris Stapleton was the lead singer, and I think
he's done okay.
Yeah, and we were trying to get him. My buddy Charlie Diggs was trying to get him for a festival, and I think that we had him for like $3,500 as Chris Stapleton, and then he went on the Grammys with Justin Timberlake. The next day, they called back and said, "Yeah, it's going to be 60." He went from 3,500 to 60 overnight because of one performance.
Yeah.
And that's why in the music business, maybe we have a gambling problem, but it's kind of that. We're 3 minutes away of Charlie Daniels' manager, David Corlew, who's helped me out a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
His saying that he always said to me, "We're 3 minutes away from thousands of dollars and a lot of fun."
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just one song can be the thing that just takes you to that next
Steve
level.
bragged about it. He said, "This guy's pretty good. I think he's going to be all right." And he's had some pretty good acts in there, with people on The Voice. And
well, Steve was the first, because I played like Winter Brothers, and like I was getting into like some of the big Texas stuff, and like the bar restaurant stuff. But he was like in this area the first venue that was bringing in like national acts and not just those local guys.
Yeah. And it's funny because he used to tell me, I used to have to beg people to come in here and play. And he said, now they call us and we're booked up for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, that's what you wanted to do. He told me that before he started it, that this is where I want to put this. And I'm like, man, you got to sell a lot of coffee to pay for, Chris Stapleton, 60 grand.
It's wild. I mean, it's by far, in a lot of podcast interviews, whatever, people always ask, like, what's your favorite venues that you played and whatever. And Do-Si Dozo is in my top 3.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
It's just such a cool venue. It's a cool venue just to be in. And then the way that the sound is and the way that the audience, I've played a lot of listening rooms in my life, and it is truly one where if the audience is coming for you and they bought a ticket for you, you could hear a pin drop because they are listening to everything you are doing.
Absolutely. You whisper over there, and I can hear it over there.
And it can become such a different, intimate show that you can
actually play there again anytime soon.
Actually, just booked I booked one in for the towards the end of June.
Really?
Yeah. June
29th?
No.
Because I'm podcasting a Knights of Columbus deal there on June 29th.
No, this is like it's a ticketed Scooter Brown show. I think it's a Thursday.
Nice. Well, okay.
I'll have to double check.
That's cool. So I can get a free ticket out of that deal.
Yeah,
Probably not, Joe. He'll probably charge me twice. So, Gary Keller, all right, Keller Williams Realty. I've been there 20 years. Gary's a good friend. He mentored me on occasions when he thought I was worth it. And he told me, he said, and Gary started playing the guitar. That was his, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. And he's done real well. And he told me, he said, if you want to be good at anything, you gotta spend 10,000 hours trying to master it. And like you said, Cody and you the early 2000s, and here it is 15, 20 years later,
Mm-hmm.
that you've had to strum the guitar and pay your dues and do your thing, and then all of a sudden, it just clicks, and that's exactly right. A lot of people want, fame in a couple of days. Well, I learned how to play 4 chords, and the best part is the singer songwriting part, because is that really what you want to do? I want to write my own songs and I want to record them. And you just recorded a new song, right? Tuesday?
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's always been really important for me to tell my story, and for me to, um, a lot of the bigger artists, they pick songs. There's great writers that get their art to be heard because an artist picks their song.
Yeah.
And but for me, I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. Like
I couldn't tell
I
from this
enjoy
interview.
right. I enjoy it. Like it's just my brain. I'm a creative. Like, and so I like to make up stories and bring them to life, and I like to tell stories that have actually happened,
Paint
whether
the
they're mine or
picture.
somebody else, and paint the picture. And I just feel really good about telling my story. And at the end of the day, I probably, if I would have 10 years ago started picking songs and putting them out for the purpose of, I know this is a hit, I know this is a song that's probably going to do really well on the radio, or it's a song that can go viral, I'd probably be in a different position than where I'm at today.
Yeah.
But that's not like genuine to me. And so like every album I've ever done, I always pick one song that I didn't write, but almost every other song I wrote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or co-wrote.
So
and it's just really important
what's
to me.
the name of this new song?
So it's actually a new old song.
Oh.
I rewrote My American Son song.
Cool. You want to play it?
No, it's not done yet.
You want to sing anything?
I mean, I'll do
brought
something.
Your guitar.
I'll do something. I'll do a new song
I
that I have
got
recorded.
a little surprise for you. So when you did the Baseball for Babies gig,
Yeah.
right? We auctioned this off, and my daughter-in-law bought it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So you signed it.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can hear.
That's my spot.
Yeah, yeah. So you signed it, and I told my daughter-in-law, I said, I'm coming to get that guitar today. It's all dusty because they had it hanging up on their art thing. I don't know, it's probably out of tune, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Very out of tune.
I strummed it this morning. I went, oh, God, that's terrible. But cool. I wanted you to see that because, awesome. That is really cool. But
and I love it. So I started putting dates on my signature like back in...
Yeah, 2022 for that one.
Probably 06, 07.
And who's this? Was that the guy that played with you? Or did you, or we just see if it worked?
No, somebody signed it. I don't know who it was.
But that's you. Yeah, you got it, Justin? Thanks, man.
All
right. Play something.
So, whoa.
Come on, man. That's what people are tuning in for, not me. We're playing golf tomorrow. If you don't play, I'm going to make you hit the ball from the girls' tees, which I've seen you do.
I will. But the song, though, that I rewrote, the American Son,
right?
I rewrote it as The American. The American Son, the way that I wrote it was very pinpointed into guys like me.
Right.
And when I first released it in 2017, Charlie Daniels sang on it, which was awesome. But I always felt like it was very just inclusive to who that song was pointed at. And, the beautiful thing about this country is like, there's so much here, like so much. It's what makes it the beautiful, like this melting pot of different ethnicities and cultures and, all of it and people's stories and backgrounds. And I wanted the song to be more inclusive to everybody. And so I rewrote it, and I'm trying to get it done to put out for the 250th birthday of America on July 4th.
Nice.
It was kind of a last minute thing. I was just like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this. It's a 250th. Might as well.
Well, you've opened for some pretty exciting acts, right? I mean, Travis Tritt and
Yeah,
Charlie Daniels, right?
yeah, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie's the reason that I moved to Nashville. Him and his manager David Corlew took me under their wing, and I toured with Charlie for a number of years. He like the CDB camp was really like family to me, and I got to meet a lot of people. Travis Tritt, and I mean, so I toured with Charlie, Travis, Marshall Tucker Band.
God,
Um,
can't you see?
yeah, I mean, I've played with, I mean, everybody. Like, I mean, it's wild. The people I've shared the stage. I mean, Kid Rock, Chris Stapleton, Billy Gibbons, Three Doors Down.
I've heard of all of them.
Um, I mean, I could sit here and do an hour of
Yeah.
just like who I've played with. And it's
How
awesome, man.
many
Like,
years are you into this now? 25?
I
20?
would say like officially 20, like of starting a band. Like when I established Scooter Brown Band was 2005.
Yeah, so 20 years, 21.
And then I went. It's been my full-time job since 2009.
And how long you been married?
What's the date today?
It is 2026.
But I mean the date.
Oh, May 13th.
In 2 weeks will
Shut
be
up.
20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
June what? Is that right?
No, May.
13th?
May 27th.
Oh, I'm June 13th.
Oh, cool.
45 years for me.
Nice.
Yeah, best 2 years of my life. So, oh, you're laughing because you know her. Yeah. So, and you got a couple kids.
4.
Yeah.
Yep. 4 kids.
And one's getting married, right?
Yeah, 3 girls and a boy. My oldest, Logan, she's 19. They're getting married this summer. Great guy. I'm very lucky when it goes like he's the kind of dude that you hope that your daughter marries.
Yeah.
Like he's a solid
Music lover.
Yeah, I mean they love music. He does. He's actually going to school down outside of Miami, West Palm Beach area.
Everybody knows where that is.
For franchising and yeah, so she's getting married, and then my second oldest will be 18 in September. She's going to be finished with school a year early, and then going to move back to Nashville to go to esthetician school.
Nice.
So, and then I got a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. My 14 and 12-year-old are adopted.
That's right.
And we live in Cozumel, Mexico.
I know. I saw that a year ago. I think I'm going to move to Mexico. I'm like forever? Like for good? Like not just back and forth? And you go back and forth all the time anyway.
For work. Yeah.
Right?
So I basically, I go down there, and then if I do shows or have anything business-wise, I come back. The great thing about Cozumel is there's an international airport on the island.
Yeah.
So it's 10 minutes from my house. I just pop on. You know, it's less than a 2-hour flight to Houston. And then from Houston, I go to Nashville or go anywhere I'm going.
Yeah.
So it works out really good.
You've been doing that for almost a year, huh?
Not quite. I think it was like 7 months.
Yeah.
I started the process about a year ago, though.
Yeah.
My wife and I always kind of joked about it because we go down there all the time.
Yeah.
And, our favorite spots like Isla Mujeres.
Yeah, been there.
And that's just too small of an island. I wanted an island vibe, but it's only 5.5 miles by like a half a mile. And having 4 kids, there's only so many places you can go on a rock that size with a lot of other people on it. And so we were like, well, let's check out Cozumel. And it's a much bigger island. I think it's about 250 square miles. A lot of wilderness and miles of beach that's just...
You're going to start playing like reggae and stuff?
No, man. I just like the Caribbean. I've always... My dream and my goal is to basically be retired at 50 and to have a spot in the Caribbean and a spot in the Rockies.
Nice.
That's been my goal for as long as I've been an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I got a little bit of a pirate side and a little bit of a mountain man side.
We didn't know that from this interview.
Um,
Well, it's funny because the people that we have on this show that we have had, I would say every one of them has this DNA of giving back.
mm-hmm.
Everybody, we had a guy that makes beds so that kids can't sleep on the floor. Sleep in heavenly peace, Mike Fortner, and of course, the Saids, and
Mm-hmm.
We had Tom Bolsh, who Tom is a former point man for Secret Service, owns Saddle River Range, shooting guns. They all have these foundations, and you have Boot Camp 40, which
Base Camp 40.
That's what I meant, Base Camp 40, and we're gonna play golf tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I played golf 3 or 4 years ago together, and we had to bid on, all right, who wants to play with Scott Brown? I said, I'll do it. I paid a couple bucks for you to, and you like
worst investment he had made. Bro,
I was like,
I played so bad.
Well, here's what it was. You gonna ride with me? No, I'll catch up. I'm like, wait, what? Hey, I'll catch up with you. So I think it was the second hole. Here you come. I'm thinking, I just got raped out of my money because he's not even going to show up. And we have a good time because we weren't planning on winning. We were just, And the guys that I usually play with this year, one of them's on a cruise. One of them has got a grandkid graduation. One of them died, unfortunately. The guy that I was with when I found out that Steve passed away. So tell us about Base Camp 40.
Yeah. I co-founded it about 15 years ago, I think, with a buddy of mine, Paul Bristol, out in Colorado. Paul brought me out, and he managed this ranch. I think it was about, I want to say like around 3,000 acres, west of Grand Junction, like really close to the Utah border.
Right.
And he brought me out for a show, and he was like, hey, I want to take you up to this ranch that I manage, the Bedford Ranch. And he took me out to this spot, and it was this rim overlooking this canyon that looks off into the LaSalle Mountains over in Utah. And it was one of the most peaceful, at peace moments that I'd had since coming back from Iraq. Like, it was just a spot that was, it was just this beautiful quietness. And like, this guy had a really big heart for helping. And for the reason I was there was we were doing a show to put a benefit on for the hospice in Grand Junction that had taken care of his father while in hospice. And I was like, man, can you share this with people? Is the owner willing to bring some veterans up here? I was like, and so we kind of talked, and then he kind of took it and ran with it. And he was like, man, I want to do this thing as Base Camp 40. 40 is the unit of hunting in Colorado that sits in.
Yeah.
So the base camp is in Unit 40. And the first one took a guy out bow hunting for mule deer, and then we took 2 other Army guys on a cow elk hunt on the ranch. And the ranch owner, Terry Bedford, great human, he would donate his depredation tags, because he owns the property. So on the cows, you get so many for however much property that you have during hunting season. So he would donate those to veterans for the organization. That's how it started. And then other landowners in the area started jumping on board, and they're like, hey, we get X amount of cow tags, because it's a gold medal unit. People are coming up there because they're looking for 350, 360, 370 class bull elk.
Right.
Nobody's really going to hunt cows. It's a little bit, it's a trophy, but cows are the best eating. The cow elk, a 3-year-old cow, I'll take that over a bull any day.
Really?
I'm not a horn hunter. I don't care. And that's how it started. And Paul really, I helped put the name out because I had the platform to help kind of bring But Paul really just built it and did an amazing job. I'm still on the board. I occasionally am able to do some events, but we don't do a whole lot of fundraising. It's a small organization. We run, probably 60 something men and women a year through the programs.
That's pretty good.
Most of the hunting, a lot of it's in Colorado. We do some fishing trips up in Alaska. We do some gator hunts down in Louisiana. We do some like Kansas whitetail, and it's all based off people who have private property that are willing to donate that time, the property. If we have to buy tags, we buy them. But what we do is we travel the person, we feed them. If they haven't gone through hunter's safety, we put them through the course, get them their hunter safety card.
These are all veterans.
Yeah, veterans. And over the years, we've opened it up now. Like we have a couple events for like all first responders, LEO. But yeah, veterans, and I think we have 1 or 2 events for Gold Star families.
So that's what I grew up with. So how do you qualify for that? Do you get a lot of people applying, or do you have somebody say, "Hey, Scooter, I got this guy that I need to get into Base Camp 40"?
There's on the website. You can go on a bc40hunts.org.
Say it right in there.
bc40hunts.org.
Okay.
You can register to sign up for a hunt.
Okay.
Obviously, if somebody like, hey man, this guy really needs some help, there's a line. But if we have somebody that brings somebody personally, and you're like, hey, this guy is kind of like really going through it right now, we try to figure something out.
Okay.
To get him on something.
But 60 or 70 or 80 guys a year, we had a friend of mine in here a few weeks ago who has Camp Hope here in Houston, Doug Bayless. And, he does all these golf tournaments every year. He has a little tent set up at one of the holes, and you shoot the gun with the golf thing. And same thing. He's raised like $1.5 million, and they have like 80 guys in there just turning it and turning and turning that they have to help with. You talked about the adrenaline rush, right? And then you go out there and it's, a vacuum, it's quiet. That's right, to help them cope with all the anxiety. And
yeah, and that was the thing about with Base Camp 40 is it wasn't necessarily about hunting. Like it was getting veterans in a space where they could be around other people that went through the same things, been through the same things, but just getting out into the woods.
Yeah,
like the wilderness. That's where I really am spiritual, and that's where I find God.
Yeah, you
mostly.
You chill out, and phone's not ringing.
Yeah, and it's a place when in the evening, if you're sipping on some whiskey around a campfire, and you can talk to other people that might be on the hunt that have been through the same things and seen a lot of the same things, or had a lot of the same successes and failures that you can relate to. And the other thing with hunting is like there's the amount of veterans that have never hunted before. They didn't grow up doing it.
Yeah.
And I think the key thing that I've seen over the years, because I've worked with numerous organizations besides my own, I've had my music since I got out, and I didn't realize that for years, that was like a thing that probably really helped me.
Sure.
Because I've always, besides on occasions, slept pretty good at night. But it's giving people something to look forward to. Because a lot of veterans, especially guys that did multiple deployments or did 20 years and retired, like that brotherhood is so much a part of your life, and that you were constantly working towards the mission. There was always something. And then all of a sudden you get out, you go to the VA, get pumped with a bunch of meds, and you're sitting on a couch and like, there's nothing. What do you do now?
Yeah.
And so whether it's hunting, whether it's learning how to play a guitar, whether it's maybe it's kayaking, maybe it's golfing. There's a veterans golfers association, a great organization. Although golfing may not be the thing if you get a bad temper.
Not for you.
I love it, man.
But you know,
it's just giving somebody the opportunity to look forward to something. So hunting, all of a sudden you get home and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna go on that Cabela's catalog and freaking start ordering like, and it's like, oh man, I just got a new rifle. Oh, check this out! I got this with it, and I for my next hunt, I'm getting this gear now.
Yeah,
I'm planning it out, and so now like, you know, you got seasons for hunting. So like, once that hunting season's over, you start planning for the next one next year, and you have something that you're looking forward to. Because I think that when guys stop looking forward to something, that's when they make a permanent decision to a temporary problem.
Yeah, you know, people that suffer with PTSD and even going to war and then coming back, and what else do I do? You said it. I was going to be in the military from day one, and then I was going to do 20 years, but then I ended. What am I going to do now? I start playing the guitar. That's where you found your solace. And for most of the people that go to Base Camp 40 and all the other stuff, they don't have that foresight to look forward. And so they get with all of you together where they wouldn't, you know, most of those people won't talk about that experience. But then they go to Base Camp 40 and it's like, well, all these people sitting around here are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So I'll open up and share. It's got to be such a great therapy.
Yeah.
For them just to come out, right?
Well, we get an email. This email, it was so cool. This guy came out, had a family, wife and 2 kids, and the opening of the email said something along the lines like, "What did you do to my husband?" And when you read that, you're like, "Oh, what happened?"
Yeah, is that one of the 22?
Did something bad happen, please? And she went on the email and she said, you know, before he left for Base Camp 40, he rarely smiled, rarely laughed, didn't really do anything with the kids. Jeez. Didn't like, he was just kind of like in his own like little world. And she said that since he'd been home that he had smiled and laughed more than she's seen in years, that he's been hanging out and playing with his kids, that he actually took his kids to the movies. He said he's never taken the kids to the movies because he doesn't like to be in a crowded place and dark and all that stuff. Like, because it's just, you're constantly checking your 6, you know, like, and it was cool. It was like what 4 or 5 days on a mountain can do to somebody.
With people,
with the right people that are
experiencing the same thing.
Yeah,
I bet she had to get a new keyboard from all the tears that dripped down there when she was.
I mean, and we've had so many like that. Yeah. Like it's really cool, and that's all the organizations that I've worked with. I mean, and that's the other thing too, is like getting involved in organizations and helping give back. Like, you know, the veteran thing is obviously always going to be near and dear to my heart. My biggest cause that I'm most passionate about is like kids in anti-trafficking. I've worked with a couple of different organizations. I was on the board for an organization called Aerial Recovery Group for a while, where it's a lot of former military, former special forces, because we know how to react in situations because we've been trained for it. So, you know, the forward-facing mission of aerial recovery is like worldwide natural disaster relief. So we go in, like, search and rescue stuff, you know, and we'd give classes like how to chainsaw a tree, like all these different things that we prep these guys for. But then, you know, the underlying mission is also anti-trafficking, and so working with governments to go in and take down sex traffickers and rescue kids.
You have a real good friend that in an organization called Rescue, and they have these dogs that don't sniff out drugs. They sniff out thumb drives, electronic devices, where they hide the names of all these kids on these, and these dogs go into these houses that these scammers and these traffickers are living in, and the dogs find those electronic. It's phenomenal. And because, you know, Houston's famous for a lot of things, we don't want to be famous for you know, sex trafficking and kid trafficking, and we are, unfortunately, major hub. And so that's really, really important that, and you can buy one of those dogs. We're going to have rescue on here. You can buy one of those dogs for like 25 grand, and to watch them work at a couple of the seminars I've been to is like, what? I mean, they'll find a thumb drive in the guy's shower under a tile in the back behind the bookshelf. And I'm like,
Wow.
what? I mean, you think about dogs finding drugs,
Yeah.
but an electronic device?
Yeah.
Pretty.
That's
So
incredible.
tomorrow's the big tournament. You don't want to play with me this year, I get it. And this won't post before tomorrow anyway. But we raised a lot of money at Tascasita Golf Course. Ken Kirchhoffer, who now owns the golf course, right? And we've had Ken on here.
In the process.
Yeah, and his son's going to run the deal, and he raises a bunch of money. This is the 14th year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to every one. I met him through Steve, of
Yeah.
all people. And so you're going to be there tomorrow. Are you going to sing the national anthem or?
No.
Huh?
No.
You sang it a couple of years ago.
I have, man, but
You want me to sing it with you? You know, I've sang the national anthem.
no, I think Ken has already got somebody on it. But
Thank God.
listen, the national anthem is a hard song to sing. You're screwing it up is one thing, but being a combat action veteran Marine and you accidentally just mess it up,
It's bad news.
I'm not really like, I used to be scared of the song. Like, it's a very hard song to sing.
If you don't start low enough, boy, when you get to the bombs bursting in air, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also trying to do that in the first thing in the morning, like,
With a sore throat
yeah,
and no
I'm
kolaches.
yeah, I'm not trying to do that. But yeah, no, I'll be there.
Now, who you playing with this year? You said you got a team?
Yeah, I think I'm playing with you.
With me?
Yeah. You have one other person, right?
Yeah.
Well,
he'll be.
two of my guys backed out, so I only have two people.
Oh, well,
I told Ken yesterday to split me with you.
Yeah, cool. He's the guy I'm bringing is an Air Force guy,
Oh, cool.
and he just retired last week. His name's Ken Parker. I coached his kids when they were younger, and we had a retirement party Sunday, and he said, "We need to start playing golf." I said, "All right, well, come play golf with me next week because my guys are going doing their thing." And he said, "Well, I'm not ready." I said, "You're never going to be ready if you think you're going to play golf and win something." I said, "We go to raise money for Base Camp 40, and that's for veterans. You're a veteran. You got to do it." So he's asking me, well, I'm a little scared. And I said, look, you can play from the girls' tees. Nobody's going to care. I mean,
No.
you play like a girl anyway. I said, I'll pick you up. Let's go. So now he's going to travel with me. So I'll see you tomorrow.
That's awesome.
That'll be awesome.
Well, that's a cool thing about like a tournament.
He'll
is
be like, who's this guy?
Well, and it's great for somebody that's getting into golf to start off on doing scrambles.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can whack the ball. It doesn't matter where it goes. You can just tell them to bring a lot. Leave it in the woods. We go grab the best ball and then whack it again. And at least there's somebody on there that is going to carry it. Like the guy that I'm bringing is one of my really good friends. His name's Randy Brown. We have no relation. He's also from Colorado.
I think I've maybe met him.
You may have. Great dude. He's in Nashville. He's writing songs and he puts out music under Olin Tucker.
Oh.
And because there's a million Randy Browns, it's why I go by Scooter.
Maybe that's
it's
why
because there's a ton of Scott Browns.
Yeah.
But Randy's a great dude. You and him are going to be going. I can already tell that.
Awesome.
Because he's one of those guys that can just sling it right back.
And
he's super quick-witted.
Nice.
But he spent, I forget how many years. It's how I met Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Really?
He was Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's ranch manager up in Aspen, up in Snowmass.
Holy crap.
So they have an 80-acre ranch up there. And he was the guy, he lived on the ranch full time, doing everything for Kurt and Goldie.
Nice.
Yeah, Kate Hudson came out to one of my shows in Aspen because of Randy. You know, like he's just got great connections. And now he's actually working he's Jamie Johnson's tour manager on the road. So he's out there doing, he's
fun. Now I'm looking forward
great
to
stories, great guy.
And I don't have to pay for you this time?
No, man. Hey, nope.
Awesome.
Actually,
right, so
I told him that you'd write a check tomorrow.
yeah, Ken's going to be all over me. All right, Vinny, I bought this clock last year just because I felt guilty. Well, I got to buy something. And the guy holding the clock is the guy that passed away. He and I played together last year. So what's the future hold? What's going on?
So one of the reasons why I moved to Nashville I was there for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then moving to Mexico was, I wanted family time.
Sure.
I started working on another project a while ago that took off, and unfortunately things kind of went downhill with it. One day I'll get into that story. It's not ready for it. Yeah. But I was not in a great headspace, and the creatives sometimes need a drastic change to kind of like get out of a funk, or like I just didn't care about writing songs anymore. I was
Really?
just after COVID, and my career got pulled out from underneath, like of nothing that I did. It's not like I didn't show up and I got fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my
you
career
can't
was
play. Sorry.
my career was on a rocket.
Yeah.
I was touring with Charlie Daniels and Marshall Tucker Band. We had the Fire on the Mountain tour for 2020. It was Scooter Brown Band, Charlie Daniels Band, Marshall Tucker Band. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, this is amazing.
Does this get any better?
and so obviously that didn't happen. And then Charlie passed away in June of 2020. And all those shows that we thought were going to be pushed just disappeared.
Yeah.
And so I started another project, and it was going really good. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong person, and that's all I'll say about that as far as that. But like I just was kind of like bummed. I was in a bad spot. I was kind of mentally not checked in for my wife and kids.
Did you feel like it's made you stronger?
Now, yeah, absolutely.
You look back and say, "Well, don't do that again."
Yeah, no. It's funny because it feels like sometimes God throws you lessons, and it's like if you don't learn, you're gonna get it again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
you became very close to God, right? I mean,
yes, in and out of it for a long time. You know, you gotta think, like when you come back from war and you see like the atrocity that human beings do to each other, and then you being a part of that destruction, it's really hard to think about the idea of faith and forgiveness. And you know, I kind of had this thing where, you know, you go into a church and you hear the preacher talking about the flock and the shepherd, and you just feel like, no, I've strayed too far. And then he says, you know, talking about leaving the 99 for the one.
Yeah.
And you're like, no,
that's not you.
It wouldn't be for me though.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that for a long time. And it was honestly my in and out of faith. The day that it changed forever was actually at Chris Kyle's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Chris was a really good friend of mine. And when he was murdered, it hit me really hard. Taya had called me, his wife, and asked if Chris and I were working on a song called Valor, and asked if I would play at his funeral. I said yes. Well, the night before, I got just canned. I drank a bottle of Jaeger and a bottle of Crown, and like
I'll make it all go away.
I was throwing up all night long. The next day I woke up and I completely had lost my voice. Like gone. And I get to the stadium and I find Taya, and I'm trying to tell her like, I can't do it. Like I screwed up. I'm sorry. And she was like, Scott, I don't care if it takes you 30 minutes. You're going to go do it. She's like, because you did this to yourself.
Yeah. Your choice.
And I was standing behind the curtain at the 50-yard line at Cowboy Stadium. And I'm freaking out because I don't have a voice. It wasn't just like partially, it was gone. And I was walking back and forth, and I was anxiety through the roof. And I just kind of looked up and I was like, I could really use some help right now. And what happened next, I can't explain how it actually did in words, but like what happened next was I heard a voice, but it wasn't a voice that I didn't understand. It was a sound, best way to describe it, and an energy that just hit me. And my left ear started ringing like crazy. And I was super dizzy. And I just like, it like dropped me down to my knee. And I was like down on my knee and I was like, oh, my, what the heck was that?
What?
And a guy came up behind me and he tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, you're up. And I was like, I walk around the curtain and I walk up the stairs and I walk on the stage and there's 15,000 people there. And I plugged my guitar in. And as soon as I plugged it in, my entire body just went. I walked up to the microphone and I started singing. And all the words came out. Didn't miss a note, didn't have a crack, didn't have a squeak, didn't have a nothing. I got done with the song. I am like in the middle of it, worried about just remembering the words because I'm so in my head, like what's going
Like
on
the
right now?
national anthem.
What just happened to me? I get done with the song. I unplugged the guitar. As soon as I unplugged, all the anxiety came straight back to my
Really?
And I was like heart beating out of my chest. And I walked backstage and there was nobody there except for Randy Travis.
Wow.
And Randy and his wife. And I'm trying to like figure out what the hell just happened.
Right.
But I see Randy Travis and I know in my mind I need to go over there and like introduce myself. And I walk over to Randy and shook his hand and no words came out. My voice was gone. Completely. To the point to where my wife walked around to check on me and she basically had to translate to Randy.
Here's what he's thinking.
Like, hey, this is my husband's, you know, like, and then we hit it off and we ended up going to dinner together a couple days later. But it was that day where I was like, okay, I asked, I received. That's not coincidence.
Now you're going to give back.
Like and so that's how like really my journey, and you know, it's my path of faith looks like a can of worms. I mean, it's been all over the place.
Yeah.
But it's very much a huge part of my life. And so that I'm saying all that is like moving forward is like I wanted to give back, but I want to spend time with my family that I did not give them on a lot of different levels. But I'm not in love with music this way that I used to be. I'd like to fall back in love with it, but I still haven't gotten there yet. And I still don't like enjoy it like I used to.
Really?
But I honestly feel like I have a little bit more of a different calling. The music's always going to be a part of it, but my ego of my name on a marquee and selling stuff out, like it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care about the notoriety from it. I don't care about, and I'd be lying if I said it doesn't feel good when you do get the notoriety from what you're doing. But I feel like my storytelling, my faith, and there's a lot more. When we could do a podcast for 10 hours and I couldn't even make a dent in my story.
Yeah. You know, I always got that feeling from the first day I met you, is that it's just an ordinary guy. I mean, he's not full of himself, and he just kind of doing his thing. And Father McDonald told me growing up, don't lose your faith. You know, keep your faith. That's what he always said. And a lot of times that's tough. Our first grandbaby passed away. That's what we did baseball for babies for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told my daughter-in-law, I said, this is just a test. Just see how tough you are. And you know, she'd have been 18 a few weeks ago, and her brother and sister are 17 and 15, and they're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder, will we even have them if Mackenzie had survived? Because she would have needed 24/7 care, you know, preemie the way she was. So you look back and, you know, like you said, it's not a coincidence. That happened for a reason.
And I really feel, I've had a lot of people over the years always ask me, hey, have you ever thought about getting into speaking? Or, hey, have you ever done a book? And I'm like, nah, maybe one day, whatever. But it's just like, it's kind of one of those things that is reoccurring.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm going towards, of like, I'm still doing my music, but I'm doing I'm way more strategic of what I say yes to.
Well, you like to write
Yeah,
songs,
I like to write. And I
so
like
you
to,
write a book down there in Cozumel. When
yeah,
you're sitting on the beach and there's no pressure, you start.
yeah, and being able to maybe just help other people in ways like it's one thing to be on a stage, and I've always had a message in my music, and I've always had a message as like a storyteller when I do music. But I feel like I can do it in a different way and actually affect people even more, or
Yeah.
or make just people think something different. It's like for me, I'm a kid with a very modest upbringing. You know, lived in trailer parks here and there, food stamps. I have a GED and an honorable discharge. I don't, but I've met presidents of the United States. I've been to 40 different countries. I've been to
Yeah.
every state in this unit. I've hung out with the actors. I hung out with Mike Tyson for 3 days in Hollywood. Like there's so many things and opportunities that I've gotten just because I made a decision to go for it and do it. And it's crazy because like, you know, would I gave a speech yesterday, actually out at the golf club. I was a guest speaker for the group out there that's been meeting on Wednesdays, 13th Disciple. It's a men's group,
Yeah.
and we kind of got into this thing. And one of my kind of crazy stories is uh, I haven't told a lot of stories because I don't like being like, hey, look, like me
Yeah.
stuff. Like it makes me some of the stories make me feel not worthy because some of the things of why I did them were selfish. And one of them being of my wife and I used to do like orphan hosting. And so we've had kids from all over the world come in. And the last one that we had gotten was a little boy from Ukraine. And we had him over Christmas of 2021 into 2022. And we had no intention on adopting, but this little dude just fit into our family. And we were like,
Come on.
let's see if we can do this. We did all the paperwork, we got it funded. And then Russia started happening. And so we were talking, we had to send him back in, I think, the third week of January in 2022. And we had him for about 7 weeks. And we were talking to Ukraine going like, hey, can we just hold on to him a little bit longer? You know, Russia's talking about this, that. And they're like, oh, well, Russia's always messing with us. They're not going to do anything. They always just screw with us. And I'm like, I'm talking to some people in the military community that's pretty dead set that this is probably going to happen. And they made us send him back. And we're like, okay. And then on February 24th, Russia invaded. And I remember it because it was my birthday. And I was at my buddy's distillery in Clarksville, Tennessee, outside of Fort Campbell. And he's a former Green Beret. And I'm telling him about this. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do, man. Like, their orphanage is like 3.5 hours south of Kyiv. And I don't know what's going to happen. And he looked at me and he goes, well, why don't we just go get him?
Shut up.
And I was like, what? Can we do that? And he goes, I'm a Green Beret, you're a Marine. Why can't we?
I think you've told me this story.
And I looked at him and I said, all right.
Let's go.
So we bought tickets to Warsaw, Poland that day, and we left the next day. We're the very first, like, we were there 2 days after Russia invaded. And we were the first Americans there. Like, there was no military presence. All in fact, the hotel that we were at is where like the U.S. command came to after we'd already been there. So we were there for 3.5 weeks, and we started making phone calls, using a lot of the SF rat lines, like just people that we knew, like, hey, do you know somebody that's in country? You know, like, let's work something out. And so we ended up getting his entire orphanage out. It was like 46 kids.
That's
and
right.
6 or 7 adults. But the whole point of this story is that we got him out, but we didn't end up with him.
Oh.
When a country's in war, you can't legally adopt. Once that war started, because of trafficking, adoption stops. And a lot of other things happen. And what had happened is they got into Lithuania. It was going back and forth, and it just kind of got stuck. we were talking to congressmen, senators. We were trying to figure this thing out and just get this kid back to the States and so we could get the adoption, stuff going. And during that process, a couple of other organizations saw that I was there and was like, hey, what's the deal with on ground? Like, basically give them a little bit of a reconnaissance before. And so these organizations come out and they start working out there. They stayed out there for a year getting kids out from the east of Ukraine and like putting them in safe houses and all this stuff. Well, one of the organizations was Aerial Recovery Group that I ended up being on the board for later. While they were there, they locked in on a sex trafficking ring of trying to get kids out to take to South America for a sex resort and got them all busted and saved a bunch of kids. So even though like that decision for me, and it was really hard for me and my wife, it was painful to go through because we just wanted this kid. That was the whole reason why we did it.
Yeah. You end up saving
dozens. Because like, it was like God said, this is the mission. Doesn't mean the outcome is going to be in your favor, but this is the bigger picture. And I didn't know about the bigger picture till a couple years later when I was on the board. And one of the head guys was telling people about me, and he said, and I don't think Scott knows this, but him putting us in contact and doing all the things that he did when he was there to get us set up turned into us busting the sex trafficking ring that was happening. And that's when that kind of comes around and you start thinking more of like, what's the big picture? It's because it didn't benefit me,
right,
is the outcome. God used me and my wife to put this in place. And I'll never know these kids that got rescued, but what are they going to go on to do? I don't know. I hope it's something amazing and great.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one of them.
Maybe they'll look back one day and say, Scooter Brown, that's the guy.
No, they won't ever know.
Yeah.
They'll never know. And
they might if they watch the podcast.
Maybe. But like it's really crazy when you really open your mind up to a bigger picture.
Yeah, you don't have to have the reward. It's like, I helped with that, and I'm thankful for it.
I think sometimes it's realizing that maybe the thought loss that you think is the loss in the L column, maybe it isn't.
Like, that was a big W for you.
Yeah.
Favorite tattoo?
I can tell you the one that hurt the most.
Oh.
I mean,
can you show it?
Everything on me is tells a story.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
So I don't have a favorite.
Yeah. So I always ask people, waitresses or just veterans, whatever, tell me about your ink, and they'd start right in. Well, this one is my mom, and this is my friend that died, and this is when I was at Base Camp 40, and everybody has a story. So that tattoos used to be looked upon when I was young. Oh, well, what do you get a tattoo for? Now everybody's got one. I mean, look at a baseball game, and I can't even look at a baseball. I've got to figure out what's on the guy's arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody has a story right there. Live free.
Yeah, this one actually is I got after Chris died. The writing is the Tego Cinema 2, which is the Navy SEAL Protect and Defend Without Fear. And then this is like the A, and then the W for American Warrior, and then this as a shield, and then Live Free.
You're a freak.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what's crazy though? So this one it's like goes down to here, up to here, and it took about, I think, 8 or 9 hours straight.
At one. Oh wow.
And this right here was horrible.
Right there in
the
your
diaphragm.
sternum.
Like it's this is
yeah.
He was finishing up. I almost had him stop.
You probably can't breathe because, right?
In the last hour, I probably had to stop 3 times to get Gatorade. I lost like 10 pounds during that session. I sweat and just like,
really,
you're constantly tensed up and like. But the crazy thing is the last tattoo I got on my leg on the side of my calf. It's a Marine Corps blood stripe with my rank on it. Same tattoo artist, one of my Joey Halsey he's outside of Atlanta. He used to come to my house for like 2 or 3 days in Nashville, and we just hang out. And he tattooed for like 3 days. My friends would come over, and amazing dude. He wouldn't charge any of my friends. Just tell him to come over, like. And he starts in on my leg, and he worked for 12 or 13 hours to redo this whole thing because I've had this sleeve for so long that I had him brighten it up, and so we just like 12 or 13 hours, and I was like. Finally, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. He's like, you haven't made a sound or a peep, and all of a sudden you're just done. I was like, yeah, I'm done. He starts on this. He's like 3 minutes in. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Nothing. So you doing something different? Like, I'm like, this hurts. He's like, dude, I did you for 12 hours last time, and you didn't say nothing until the end. I was like, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. This is horrible. It took him maybe 45 minutes to finish it. Miserable, horrible pain the entire time. And then because it's your leg below the knee, you're always like this, except for when you're laying down.
Yeah.
So the blood's always pumping down there and pumping back up. And so you'd be sitting or laying down, but as soon as you stood up, all that blood goes down, and then all of a sudden the side of your leg just starts just throbbing. For like a week. I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm ever going to get another tattoo.
Rub some dirt on it.
Dude, hey, I got enough on me to, if I complain about one, I got the right about it.
Right.
Because that one was horrible.
Okay. So I want you to tell our viewers about Base Camp. So there's a website for that?
Yeah, bc40hunts.org.
Okay. And then...
which you can donate, you can volunteer, and you can sign up to be on a list for hunts.
Okay, great. And then what about scooterbrownband.com?
Yep.
Right? Scooter Brown. You got to tell them because that camera's on you.
scooterbrownband.com.
Not a S, band.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And what else?
thesurvivalsummit.com.
Okay.
I'm thesurvivalsummit.com. I also co-own a survival company.
Okay, because we're going to put all that. Justin will put all that down on the trailer.
Which I will. Yeah, we need to do more podcasts because, like, it's there's so much. I'm a co-owner of this company. It's a great company, and you should check it out because they're amazing. We are amazing.
So tomorrow he's going to be my partner, and this won't post before tomorrow. But I tell people all the time, Steve and I came up with Vinny's Out to Lunch, and I said, why? He said, well, like we wanted to do it at different venues,
Mm-hmm.
But he said, your mind is out to lunch. Every week you come in here with a different story, and you tell this story, and every once in a while I'll hear one that I've heard, the 40 years. I said, well, yeah, I'm an idea guy, just like you.
Yeah.
Like, I got a story to tell. So just keep tuning in. Freaking awesome people we have in here. Everybody's just been great. Vinny's Out to Lunch. Thanks. Peace out.